Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala an. Abu Darda was a great Sahabi of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. He is also min al-Ansar, from the Ansar al-Madina, from the famous tribe of Khazraj. So Abu Darda min al-Khazraji. His name was Uwaymir bin Zayd bin Qais al-Ansari. In some said Uwaymir bin Malik, but the famous version of the Muhaddiseen is Uwaymir bin Zayd bin Qais. He accepted Islam after the Battle of Badr. So compared to the other Ansar, those who accepted Islam in Aqabat al-Ula, before migration of the Prophet, or Aqabat al-Thaniya, the second visit, he was late in Islam compared to all these Sahaba. But he accepted Islam and become one of the great companion of the Prophet ﷺ and the great scholar of the Quran and the Sunnah. Before he was a businessman, and then he left his business and dedicated himself for the Quran and the Sunnah and the teaching. Even he said himself, "Kuntu tajiran qabla al-mab'ath." Before the Prophet ﷺ, announcement of prophethood, I was a businessman. فَلَمَّا جَاءَ الْإِسْلام, when Islam came, جَمَعْتُ التِّجَارَةَ وَالْعِبَادَةَ. Tijara al-ibadah. I tried to combine business and worship. فَلَمْ يَجْتَمِعَا, I couldn't combine it. So فَتَرَكْتُ التِّجَارَةَ وَلَزِمْتُ الْعِبَادَةَ. So then I left my business and I stick with my ibadah. And he was known, were very famous among the Sahaba, Sadatu Sa'imin. Sa'im means fasting. He was known as Sadatu Sa'imin, the leader of those who are fasting. He was so frequently fasting and so frequently night time offering prayer that his brother fil mawakhat, you know, the Prophet ﷺ made one Muhajir brother of one Ansar, which is called Mawakhatul Madina. Salman Farsi was his brother in this relation. Even one day he stayed in his house and he realized, and he asked his wife, and he said, "Your brother don't have any connection with dunya. He completely left everything. He is just dedicated to ibadah." And after observing this level of ibadat, Salman Farsi, the great Sahabi, said to Hazrat Abu Darda, "Inna li badanika alayka haqqun." Your body has right over you. Wa li ahlika alayka haqqun. Your family has right over you. How you left everything and dedicated to it? So this was showing that how from completely a businessman and very lavish life he was living. Because he was a businessman, well-off person, so very luxurious life he was living. So he left everything, all the luxuries of life and the tijara, and dedicated to Islam. The Prophet ﷺ gave him a title of the Hakim Ummati. The wise of my ummah is Abu Darda. You can imagine when the Prophet ﷺ gave him such a great title, that the wise of my ummah is Abu Darda. As this title given to Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah, he was given the Aminu Ummah. The most trustworthy of my ummah is Abu Ubaidah bin Samit, and he was given Hakimul Ummati. Even in one his history biography, he said, the Prophet ﷺ says about him, "Inna Rabbi wa'adani bi Abi Darda an Yuslim." My Lord has promised me of the acceptance of Islam of Abu Darda. So it was such an important personality in Islam. And according to historian, there were 4 people in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, those who compiled Quran. One is the compilation, the proper compilation from Uthman bin Affan, and then before Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the full. But they said that in the time of the Prophet, 4 people. One is Abu Zayd, one is Zayd bin Sabit, one is Ubay bin Ka'ab, and the 4th one, Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala anhu. They were known in the time of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And these 4 people were very known scholars in the time of the Prophet. In the time of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he moved to Damascus. And in Damascus, he became the first Qazi of Damascus. And as I said before, that he left everything and dedicated himself to the Quran and the Sunnah, especially the teaching of Quran. In Damascus, he started teaching, and according to some historian, that he in one time has had thousands students learning from him. Those who become the Kibarut Tabi'een, the great Tabi'een, become the students of Abu Darda. And he was the first Qazi and the first judge in Damascus on that time. And not only he became judge, his legacy was over 1 century remain, because he and his students were becoming the Qazi in Damascus. So for 1 century or more than 1 century, the legacy of Hazrat Abu Darda as a teacher, as a judge, and as a scholar of Islam. But with this, the most important thing in Sayyidina Abu Darda radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, with all his ibadat, with all his dedication, leaving all the business, completely dedication, even in Damascus, only teaching the Sunnah and the Quran and the Hadith and the narration, the great narrator. You know, when one day he said, Innama akhsha, you know what I am fear? Min Rabbi, from my Lord, an yad'uni ala ru'usil khalaiq, that in front of people will call me, Ya Uwaymir, O Uwaymir. His name was Uwaymir. Faqulu labbayka ya Rabbi. When he called me in front of public, O Uwaymir, and I say, Labbayk, I am present in your barka. And then fayaqulu, and my Lord asked me, he said, this is I am fair. Ma amilta fi ma alimta, what you did with your knowledge. The knowledge which you have, how much you act upon it. He said, I have such great fear. You could look at, in one hand, Salman Farsi, the great companion, is advising him, you have right, your body has a right, you have to have rest, you have to stay at home, you have to, at night time, rest as well. But in other hand, he said, Innama akhsha, I have a great fear from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah asks me what you did with your knowledge, how much you act upon it, how can I respond to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? These were the great companion of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. So he mentioned this hadith is very briefly. In age of 66, in 32 Hijri, he passed away in Damascus. And his mazar engraved in Damascus, in Babu Saghir. He says, Inna al-ittiqa'a ala al-amali ashaddu min al-amal. Now he is saying that indeed preserving deed, this is the hadith is narrating from Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, preserving deed is more difficult than deed itself. Ittiqa'ul amal ashaddu min al-amal. Preserving deed, when you do something, when you do any amal, now preserving it, preventing it, and keeping it safe, it is more difficult and more hard than action itself. Then he said, إِنَّ الرَّجُلَ لَيَعْمَلُ الْعَمَلَ. A man may perform a deed, فَيُكْتَبَ لَهُ عَمَلٌ صَالِحٌ مَعْمُولٌ بِهِ فِي السِّرِّ يُضَّعِفُ أَجْرُهُ 70 ضِعْفًا. And he and recorded for him as a secret deed, because he did it secretly. So because of secret deed and good deed, he was granted 70 times. The reward is 70 times. So now what's happened? فَلَا يَزَالُ بِهِ shaitan. The Satan continued to whisper to him until he mentioned it to someone. فَمَا يَزَالُ بِهِ الشَّيْطَانُ حَتَّى يَذْكُرَهُ لِلنَّاسِ وَيُعْلِنُهُ. He did it very secretly, no one know about it. But what's happened? The shaitan is saying, you know, the people should know, you did a great thing. Let encourage people. You know, the shaitan always play with you. Inside you have other feeling. In reality, if the only purpose to encourage people, the Quran says, Sirram wa alaniya. You are allowed to do it secretly, you are allowed to do it publicly. Secretly to prevent your nafs from any arrogancy, and publicly to encourage others. But here, if you don't have control over your nafs, but in reality you want the people should know, but the excuse is given, the whispering shaitan, let the people know, you did such a great thing, let the people will get courage out of it. And then when he do, فَيَكْتُبُ عَلَانِيَةً, So it was a secret deed, 70-time reward. When it has become open, the reward decreased. And then what's happened? فَيَكْتُمُ وَيُمْحِ تَضْعِيفُ أَجْرِهِ كُلِّهِ ثُمَّ لَا يَزَالُ بِهِ الشَّيْطَانُ. And again, even in all this, the Satan continue to whisper him until he mentioned it again, ثانية وَيُحِبَّ أَن يُذْكَرَ بِهِ وَيُحْمَدَ عَلَيْهِ. Now, one time mentioning was not enough for him. He said, no, this person, no, mashallah. See his expression, he said, mashallah, you are a great man, you are a great person. Then he said, the Satan is telling him, tell other one, tell this one. Your family should know. Your uncle should know. Your colleague should know. And then, فَيُحِبُّ أَن يُذْكَرَ بِهِ. Then he start love. The people should talk about it. Whenever he sits up there, are they talking about something which I did? The masjid which I made, the madrasa I made, the Falani Beva lady, a widow, I supported her for beti ki shadi and this and that. وَيُحْمَدَ عَلَيْهِ. Then he want to be praised. And this is the level when فَيُمْحَى مِنَ الْعَلَانِيَّ وَيُكْتَبُ رِيَاءً. Even from open reward, the sawab is removed and is written as show off. He says, see how 70-time reward came to, let's say, 10 times, and from 10 times everything has gone and it's become only show off, which is shirkul asghar. He said, this is the biggest fitna of shaitan. It's give you always, is misguide you and incite you to destroy your own reward with your own hands. This is one example. And in our life, we are doing many times. As Allah said, "La tubtilu sadaqatikum bil manni wal adha." Yesterday I mentioned this verse of the Quran. You are doing sadaqat. It's a great job. You are helping someone. وَلَا تُبْتِلُوا, but don't destroy it. بِالْمَنِّ وَالْأَذَى, with mentioning to someone, with hurting the feeling of someone. كَالَّذِي يُنْفِقُ مَالَهُ رِئَاءَ النَّاسِ, like those who just spend their wealth to show off, to boost themselves, to satisfy their own ego, not to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not out of sympathy, not with the thinking that this is the haqq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given it to him and he is just distributing it to the right person. No. Malahu ri'a an-nas. He said, when you have this, then these people lose their reward. And we, in our daily life, we have to look at it. How many times we keep our reward with us and how many times we destroy it ourselves. Coming to the masjid, read salat. As soon as we leave masjid, outside we do something, removes everything. Even sitting in masjid, assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, and we start doing ghibat of someone, backbiting of someone. Where is the reward left? You did double guna. The reason, one is backbiting, secondly, in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In namaz, we are very different. As soon as we finish namaz in our business, the person trusts us. MashaAllah, Haji Sahib, very nice admi. You know what he's doing? He is a shop, he is a property dealer, he is a this and that in office. So the people running, he's a Haji Sahib. But when you go to Haji Sahib, he's a different Haji Sahib in business. So you use your ibadat, your setup and your get-up to deceive people. And that's how you will never get rewarded for your ibadah. You will never get reward for this, your get-up and setup. This is, in fact, deception. And this is the story day in, day out in our society. How many times have you seen the people cursing the religious people because of their bad experience with him? I told you the story. I'm sure most of you remember that the person whose car was stolen in Lahore, if you remember, and someone told him to go to Peshawar, mostly the stolen cars are there, and he went there. And when he went there, after looking at there are very specific areas where the stolen cars are sold back. He find out the car is there. He got very happy. I find my car. Then he went, who is the owner of this this place? He said, you know, the watchman said, Haji Sahib, he went to read namaz and he's coming back. So he got very happy, at least this person read namaz. And when he came, and honestly, this was a true story. The Haji Sahib came with a very beautiful white amama. It's a tradition there, they wear a lot of people amama, with white cloth. And when he came, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, I got more happy. He is namazi and he's a very nice, religious, proper beard. And I told him, Haji Sahib, this car is mine, from Lahore it is stolen. And here is the paper with me. I said, yeah, fine, it's yours, I trust you. Then he said, then can I take it? He said, yes, you take it, but pay this. I said, but Haji Sahib, this is my car. Fair Allah, how am I going to pay for my own car? And this is not right. And he said, listen, we paid for it and you have to pay for it. And I said, Haji Sahib, you just came to read namaz and such a religious person. And he said, listen, be careful. Don't mix my business with my get-up. My get-up is with my Lord, my business is this. So business is stolen cars and the get-up is just like the great Sufi of time. These are not stories to laugh at it. These are the stories tell us that how we are deprive ourselves from the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in fact become the source of curse. So whenever you have any religious get-up, your responsibility is double. Why? If because of you or because of me, someone cursed the whole religion, someone cursed the whole piety, someone cursed the whole Islamic get-up, so I am the cause of all this misconception, I will get double, triple, more curse from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One, doing something wrong, and secondly, because of this get-up for which the person is have a bad impression about the whole setup. And we have to be very careful. We religious people have more responsibility than any ordinary person in the society because of our get-up, because of our introduction in the society. Namazi Sahab, Haji Sahab, Nek Sahab, Sufi Sahab, Maulvi Sahab. Honestly, we have a great responsibility on our shoulder. Our misdealing with someone is not us, our misdealing is directly goes to our religion, to our aqidah, to our faith, to our Islam. That's why we have to be very careful. So doing something is one, but whatever you do, saving it is more difficult and more hard and more challenging. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that whenever we do something, give us tawfiq to secure it. Whenever we have any special get-up of any religious aspect, may Allah give us tawfiq to fulfill all the requirement of it. All the requirement of this. And we should give us tawfiq to understand the great responsibility on our shoulder. We have to watch our language, our walking, our talking, our dealing, and we should not look at it that so-and-so is doing this. No, he don't have this get-up. If someone curse at him as a person. If someone curse at me, he will curse to the whole religion. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم علمنا بما أنفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم اشف مرضانا واغفر موتانا يا رب العالمين اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين يا رب العالمين برحمتك